Hey, we're talking baseball. Congratulations, Houston Astros. Hey, I have not seen, and I'm an Oakland A's fan, I've been to many World Series games. I have never experienced a World Series as exciting as this one. Tip of the hat to the Dodgers and Houston Astros. What a great series. Thank you, guys. From Boston to Dubuque, especially Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. Hey, that's my time. Yeah, the Whiz Kids had done it. Bobby Thompson had done it. Boy, oh boy, yes indeed. Rock and roll was being born, and marijuana they would scorn. Boy, has times changed, huh? Welcome to Preservation Thursday. Preservation Thursday. We got the weather changing, so got the coffee going still. It's a little late in the day. You know, some crazy things going on. I've had some interesting reviews of the professional profiles. 5 from Monsanto. That's the big one there, Monsanto. I keep getting 5, 7 Monsanto people looking at my stuff all the time. Could it be I'm saying the right thing on the GMO? Who knows? I got to be saying something right about Roe because they keep looking at me. You got a thing for me, Justice? You ain't cyber stalking me, are you? Just a question. Just asking. Good sense. They got good sense. They're looking at me. Amber Grantham, Dixon Realty. Great. The other day, I believe I said we were going to talk about standing. Let me find this sucker here and bring standing back up. Locus standi, as it's known in Latin, if you have a little bit of law degree. Now, before we go any further, I believe I haven't. I'll go back and make sure if I'm wrong, but I think somebody named Etzel, Mr. Etzel, Ryan Etzel, I spoke about him before, called me an expert. Thanks, Ryan. I appreciate it, but I'm not an expert, folks. I'm not an expert. I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not giving legal advice. However, Mr. Etzel, before you go bang on somebody, part of a business administration degree is a couple credits of business law. I got 3 of them. Doesn't make me a lawyer, just kind of gives me a little understanding. You can't 1099 a company, I believe. I don't know if it was him or somebody else said that, but I saw this in a thing. You can't 1099 a company or a corporation. Really? Then how did Halliday LLC get a 1099 every year? Come on! You can't 1099 a company? Are you sure? We're going to ask the button. Can you? The man says you can't 1099 a company. Is he telling the truth?
Bullshit detected. Take precautions.
Take precaution, folks. You heard the button. It said it. Take precautions. Take precautions. Locus standi, or standing as we call it. Not we, but that's what it's called in the legal arena. Standing. Term for the ability of a party to demonstrate to the court sufficient connection to and harm from a law or action that they challenge. If you participate in something, and let's take, for example, one of the big issues right now, still, even after, ladies and gentlemen, even after Craig Carnes said, no, we're not doing this no more. The HIPAA, you're not doing the electrical part of it anymore. Okay? It's dangerous. OSHA has ruled it no good. We have shown the department, HUD, the housing, what is it, Housing Urban Development. We've showed them state law everywhere says, no, it's illegal. You can't do it. Electricians don't even do it that way. And they charge about $500 for the service. That's something to really think about. Standing, if you were forced, if you were told, let's say, I'm not sure exactly when that was that Mr. Carnes made that determination and that discussion was made. But let's say it was done in June of 2016. Okay? If between June 2016 and today, November 2nd, 2017, if you were put into a position and were told it was mandatory that you serve, that you provide that service, that you didn't have any other choice, first and foremost, that makes you their employee. But number two, that gives you standing to write Mr. Carnes and say, hey, this company's doing this. I thought you said no. That would allow Mr. Carnes, and here's where we get this issue in the industry. Nobody wants to stand up. Everybody's afraid that they're going to get beat up for work. Look, there are so many middlemen in the middle of this mess right now that need to go, and they won't go until people with standing stand up. I don't know how else to explain it. I'm not trying to make a play on words there, but you have standing. You need to stand up. You need to report it. If you need assistance, fraud reporting at its finest, foreclosurepedia.org, up to the minute. Foreclosurepedia.org. I'll help. He'll help. We'll all help. Just talk to us. Provide documentation. Do you have documentation? What is documentation? Do you have an email? Do you have a text? If you have a text message, email it to yourself so you have a copy. Do you have some kind of manual telling you how to perform the service? Do you have a training manual of some sort? Do you have confirmation that you were made to go to a training? You see what I'm saying? Anything. How about a voicemail? A voicemail can be documentation also. Written documentation is always great. It really is. It really is. Cheryl Cooper. Anybody heard of that girl? Supposed to be Cheryl Cooper Esquire, attorney at law, going to sue Wells Fargo's Home Mortgage Services and Brookstone and a bunch of people. Has anybody heard from that girl? If you do, put her back in touch with me. Thank you very large. Thank you very large. Back to standing for a minute. This is where when we talk criticisms of Eric Miller, for those of you who, and I keep getting all kinds of new inquiries, screenshots of people going, hey, how do I get in this business thing? Many of the criticisms of Eric Miller, this is probably the biggest criticism and knock on Eric Miller, because Mr. Miller had the opportunity many years ago to right the ship, if you will, but he's allowed pecuniary greed to become a serious factor in what he's doing. What he's doing is supervising a bunch of kind of a criminal enterprise in the mortgage field service industry. I mean, it's hard. I mean, I know there's some decent people in that organization, but even the decent people know that there's wrong in there and they're not speaking up. That makes them complicit. And that's what the problem is. When we're talking complicity here, holy Toledo, ladies and gentlemen, look at the membership. Look at the membership. They've sucked. The guy who's done so much for labor. The gentleman down in Florida that has done so much for labor. Sucked them right back in. Why? I don't know. Back in 2010, myself, I think he was a spy. I think that guy down in Florida, he was a spy. He was gathering information for the organization. Yeah, that's what he was. Could he be Russian? I don't know. I don't know. But here's the bang on Eric Miller. 2010, Hearst v. Buzek or Buzek or whatever. I'm sorry if I say your name wrong, Amanda, Adam, and all you goofballs that came up with your own money system and everything over there. But here's the reality. Hearst v. Buzek opened a door. FAS let him kick the house down. AMS is just... Anybody in California listening? Every single one of you is an employee. You have standing. You have standing to challenge your classification as an independent contractor. You have standing to say, hey, I'm an employee that's been misclassified. What's really going on? That's what standing is. California, they all want to say it. Attorneys all around the country, oh, that's just California law. That's California law. But nobody wants to apply the elements of those cases to their law. Nobody wants to apply subject matter jurisdiction. Nobody wants to apply standing. Nobody wants to apply the little things. They want to look at the bigger picture. They think class action lawsuit, I can make a buttload of money. This is a different type of class action lawsuit. This isn't like the glyphosate lawsuit where 30,000, 40,000 people are going to divvy up $1 million after the attorneys take, 990,000 of it. These type of lawsuits on a misclassification, you have mileage, you have equipment, tools, you have dump fees. I'm sorry, reimbursables was coming out. Dump fees, but all those items are reimbursable. So everybody in California, you need to seriously think, hey, you know what? I'm telling you right now, California alone could shut the industry down. Since all these attorneys around the country want to say it's just California law. Think about that for just a minute. It's not just California law. California employment law has to meet the confines of federal employment rules and regulations too. So they got to meet the IRS's definition also. Anyways. Yeah, standing, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Miller never righted the ship, as you will, if you will. That's what I'm getting at here. This has been going on since 2010. And instead, Mr. Miller has allowed other people to come into the organization that are not in compliance. They made this big issue about compliance. Compliance. You got to be in compliance to go scrub a commode and mow the lawn. Yet, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau says the people dealing with the money need to be in compliance. You don't deal with the money because you hardly ever get it. When you do, it ain't what it's supposed to be. Huh. Funny how that works. But yet, you have to pay to be in compliance when somebody like Rowe Enterprises isn't. Although they claim they are. They passed a workman's comp audit, so They rent a couple house monkeys or whatever. I don't know. They rent a couple house employees up underneath workman's comp for Florida, so they're in compliance with workman's comp in Florida. But how about Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi? What about those states that you make money in and profit and conduct business in? Subject matter jurisdiction. Part of the Hearst case, part of the Hearst v. Boozecheck case was subject matter jurisdiction, where the work product is created and where it goes. The work product is created, you go do the work in Georgia, Mississippi, or Alabama, while these people over here living in Florida profit on it, and you go without. For them to profit on your work in your state, in your town, they must be licensed to do so. They're conducting business there. And that's what the problem that Boozechecks ran into when the Boozecheck said, you have to send this back to New Jersey. And the court said, oh, no, we don't. You're making money here. And they go, we're licensed here, though. We can do that. And the judge goes, first they said they're not conducting business. That was their argument. We're not conducting business in California. The court asked them, the work you're asking to be completed is in California. Yes, it is. Will you generate revenue from that work that's being completed in California? Yes, we will. Are you going to profit from that work being generated in California? Yes, we will. You are conducting business. You're conducting business. You have no standing because you do not have a business license here. Therefore, you must pay this man. Boom. Oh, well, let's get a continuance here and go deal with this. They go get licensed. They remedy the problem. Okay, good for them. It cost them a little bit of money. A lot of money. But they still get ruled against on the employee issue. FAS was next in line on the employee issue. But let's get back to the standing. The licensing issue. The standing. Mr. Miller has never righted that ship. He allows companies that are members to keep expanding into other states, parlaying, pyramiding, without proper licensing. But yet you have to pay $65 to have a background check done by somebody in Ireland. You have to be in compliance. You have to insure them with their insurance agents. You can't use your insurance agent. Your insurance company ain't going to insure them, but their membership insurance company is going to insure them. For you, you're going to pay for it. Nobody grabs that element there. Nobody puts that picture together. You have to do everything. Everything is you. You pay for everything. While they profit in another state, and they're not licensed. They're not in compliance with the law. Harmed. How do we define harmed? Do you have paperwork that has language in it like mandatory? You must do? You have to do. If you don't, we'll back charge you. Do you have anything that has language that makes something mandatory to get paid? Number one, again, back to the employee issue, control, but you've been harmed. You can ask for a remedy. You've been boxed in a corner. if you have that kind of document, any kind of documentation of that nature, get a hold of me and get a hold of that fraud expert, foreclosurePD.org guy. We'll put you in the right direction. We'll put you in the right direction. That's called standing. That's what Mr. Carnes needs to shut a company down like a Notion after he says no. That's how you get them out of the way. If you're going to be labor, if you're going to be a business, and I have always advocated this, you can ask anybody that's listened to my bark for a while now, part of the education program module or whatever you want to call it in the property preservation industry needs to include Little Business 101. Little Business 101. That's all I'm going to say. Some scuttlebutt. Industry scuttlebutt. Aim your way. Aim your way. Are they going away?
Bullshit level, DEFCON 5.
I'm going to say this for two reasons. Number one, I was privy to a conversation with an employee there. Number two, in the email Aim Your Way sends around, should we pop up somewhere, this database will be used. So if you're in Aim Your Way's database, keep your eye open for a new email coming in from a new company. I don't know. Is this Aim Your Way's way of getting out from paying some? You might want to start leaning properties. You might want to get things in gear with Aim Your Way there, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. I'm just saying. But that's what's happening with Aim Your Way. They're going a different direction. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. But they alluded to something in the email, and that employee alluded to something. There's going to be a new preservation company coming up here. Cypress lost Fannie Mae. I think that was in Virginia. Virginia. And a U.S. bank contract. Now, that Cypress company, that's the one that takes the 9% and tells you, oh, you don't have workman's comp. We're going to take 9% of your money. That's insurance fraud, That's stealing. That's stealing. Because if they say we have to take 9% of your money for workman's comp because you don't have it, they have to provide it to you. Period. Ask any state insurance adjuster. Ask your insurance commission. Better yet, go talk to an attorney, pay him $50 to write a letter up and send it to Cypress. Hey, this is the law in this state. You've been taking X amount of money for X amount of time. You have taken X amount of dollars that need to be returned. Bet you have a check tomorrow. Bet on it. Yes, indeed. NFN once again. NFN. This is another company. I'm seeing scuttlebutt everywhere on this company again. This is telling to me, okay? J.J. Batts has been in the industry a very, 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 very long time. He's been one of the rational voices in the industry. He not only is in management's corner because he's part of management. He's always been in the upper C-level position in management. But he's always been a voice of reason. He's always offered solutions to labor. Look, this is how you might want to approach this. Look, maybe, he's always offered labor an alternative to what was going on. I went back and forth with JJ years ago on the Hostess Twinkie deal with the labor unions and what was going on there. And we went back and forth. But because I said that kind of parallels I think it was JJ said, how'd that work out for Hostess? And I said, hey, that kind of parallels this industry. And he goes, huh? When he went back and looked at what was going on, it did kind of parallel the industry because with Hostess, with the Twinkie people, management never reinvested in themselves. They kept asking more and more and more and more and more and more and more for labor. Yeah. Okay. They kept asking more and more and more and more and more and more from labor. That's what they did. And labor finally said, hey, no, we're not taking another pay cut. We're not doing this. We're not doing. They couldn't do it no more. They had to go. What is going on in property preservation? Fees keep getting lower, 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 lower. You got to do more, 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 more. For what? For them to make the money. You don't see how that's starting to... Edgemark Solutions recruiting Texas, Oklahoma, folks. Texas. Speaking of Oklahoma, the gal could use some work. She knows the industry pretty good. That Candace Cornwall girl, get a hold of her, man. If you got some, she can help you on the back end work. Now, I've never been a big person on people helping with the back end work unless that's their job for my company. And think about that. Think about that. But Cyprex, yeah, their workloads aim your way. You know how it is, folks. Funny stuff there. Funny stuff going on there. Hello, Justice. I gotta hold on, folks. I gotta hold on. I can't. Yeah. IFAST, International Association Field Service Technicians. Awful quiet as far as, I mean, I don't know, maybe you got to go to their website and get information. I'll have to check them out later on today, ladies and gentlemen. But I've been having some questions, You got a question? You got a question for IFAST? Let's put them in the comment down below, folks. You like what you hear? Give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the station. Five Brothers. What was it about Five Brothers? Five Brothers. I could have swore there was... Maybe there'll be a special report. I don't know. But I will say this. Great World Series. If you're a baseball fan, you could not have asked for a better World Series. Maybe we could have got an extra inning game last night. I don't know. But I'll have a link about standing, so maybe you can read standing. I'll put a link in the description, ladies and gentlemen. Go check it out. Go understand what that means. So you, as a business owner, remember, here's what's going on here. You have been forced to become a business owner to protect their liability from you being their employee. As a business owner, you have rights. You have standing on certain issues. Standing, again, if you have been directed, ordered, mandatory, any type of language like that, you have standing. Contact me. I'll help you put an email together to where it needs to go, so you can discuss it on that level. And that's how labor has to come together, folks. That's how you, as labor, have to come together. The only organization that is even mentioning labor in the same breath as management, International Association Field Service Technicians, ifast.org. We'll get that link in the description too. You can go check them out. And I'm not saying join them. What I am saying, take a look at them. Look at their business model. Look at the other business models for trade associations in the industry. What do you want to be associated with? How do you want to be known? NAMFS does not have a good name. Neither does International Association Field Service Technicians, but it hasn't had the opportunity to get a bad name yet. So take a look at them. If they're for you, then maybe that's something that you want to consider putting in your business model, maybe on your agenda for next year. See what they're doing. Who knows? If you like what you hear, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the station, folks. It's going to be a great day outside there. If you can, hit the website, give us a donation. Sure could appreciate it. Let's have a great day. Let's all be safe out there.